Hello, Princess, from an actual hot tub aboard Wonder Woman of the Seas. It's been a while since we've had a pool chat, and it's totally my fault, especially this one, since I should have done it a long time ago. So, well, we're getting to it now, and I just want to talk to you a little bit about my experience on MSC Seashore, the good, the bad, and a few other random things. Behind us is Freedom of the Seas. We are at Coco Key here in the Bahamas, and I will be going ashore later, but right now, let's talk MSC Seashore. Okay, let's start with the not so good stuff, and a lot of this, maybe all of it, is just operational things that can change on a dime if they just put the effort into it, but they were just super frustrating and kind of put a damper on much of the cruise. I don't know. I just really hope they fix it by the time I sail on Seascape next year. I don't know. Anyway, okay, so the first thing that really bothered me is they had this weird thing. They lock you out of your account like 2 days before the sailing, and it actually says, like, oh, no more changes 48 hours prior. The problem with that is I was going to print my luggage tags, which I usually just do like the day before or something like that. So I arrived at the port without luggage tags. I had to like make some makeshift ones. And the thing is, they changed my stateroom at some point. So all I had was my booking document, and I had the wrong stateroom number. So if I had just been able to log into my account, that would not have been an issue. So yeah, that was a bit frustrating and annoying. And oh, I didn't get a notification about that. I just went to check in, and they're like, oh, here's your new stateroom. Okay, I just sent my luggage to the old stateroom. Thank you very much. Also, as for check-in, the worst experience ever. It was terrible. The whole process took like 2 hours to complete. It was just a long, slow-moving line. The actual check-in process itself with the agent was incredibly cumbersome. She had like 3 devices, like a handheld, a tablet, and a laptop, all for different things, and it was just really slow and cumbersome, and I don't know how they managed to do that. But at that point, I just didn't want to cruise anymore. It was so frustrating, you know, compared to my experience here, where again, barely stopped walking just to show my passport, and that was pretty much it. So because of the cabin switch, my luggage was misdelivered, and I had to go retrieve it from my old cabin, which there were already other guests in, which, I mean, I didn't see them, but their luggage was there, so that was super weird. Oh boy. Okay, another thing which was a bit frustrating, you can't screenshot the app. And this was a problem because I like to screenshot my schedule, which they let you, like, build, so I don't have to go into the app every time to do it. So, and there's no reason for that. I mean, like, why can't you screenshot it? You can screenshot the Royal app just fine. So, whatever. Also, more boarding day drama. My package included drinks and internet, but neither worked when I boarded. So I had to spend time in guest services and at the internet station and everything to get all of this sorted out. And it took them like 3 days to credit the 2 drinks that I got on day 1 back to me. And they were able to sort out the internet. Oh no, I had to buy it. Then they had to refund something or other. It was just crazy, but I mean, I got the refund. It was just like, why make us go through all this? Like, no, ooh. So why make us go through all of this? And finally, the debarkation process. Oh my God, what a cluster that was! Again, another slow-moving line, and they do this really weird thing where they don't make you give a credit card beforehand or when you check in. So you have to like set that all up on board at some point. I did it in the app. The first time I tried, it didn't really work, but I was able to finally add a credit card. So I was fine, but a lot of people were getting stopped because they had balances, and it just, you know, that's not the time to do it. Oh, and their incredibly slow kiosk, which takes seconds to retrieve the picture. Yeah, it took forever to get off the ship, which is strange because usually they want you off as fast as possible. But I don't know. Again, they just seem like a really amateur cruise line. And I know they've been doing this for decades, which is crazy, but I really hope they put some effort into it. I really hope they open like a meaningful office and recruit some talent from Florida and fix these problems, because there's no need for any of them to exist. So, I don't know. It just created a very frustrating experience that it took days to get over, and yeah, it wasn't that great. All in all, though, I didn't really have any big problems with the ship or anything like that. I mean, a lot of it you could just say it is what it is. It's just how they do things, and it's kind of right, wrong, or indifferent. So I'm not going to fault them for any of those, but I don't know. Hopefully they'll get these things fixed. Okay, so well, that's it for the bad. Let's talk about a couple of like weird ones though. Be careful of the credit card you use. Okay, I made this mistake, and I mean, it didn't cost me dearly. It was just kind of an annoying thing. So, because my travel agent is Canadian, I had to actually book the cruise in Canadian dollars, which is fine. I just put it on a travel card and no problem. However, be aware that they settle your onboard account if you use a credit card from Geneva. So it is a foreign transaction. Now, this is something you would think they would take care of with the amount of U.S. customers they have. They might want to settle this domestically, but no. Because I was unaware of this, I used a U.S. domestic card, so I got hit with a foreign transaction fee. Thanks, MSC. Again, there's really no reason for this. It's just something they do, and with the size of the North American market, it's something they really should change for sailings that embark or disembark in North America. Anyway, finally, be very, very, very careful with your keys. Do not lose them, because your stateroom number is actually on it. I mean, it's not like right there, but if you spend like, I don't know, not even a minute just looking at the card, you'll figure out how it works. And that is actually pretty shocking to me that they would do that. I mean, it's a huge security thing. It's like, if you just drop your card and don't notice it for a while, someone can literally pick it up and go and, I don't know, steal your stuff. And I don't know, it's just like, I still can't get over that they have that. Why? No other cruise line does this. So, I don't know, whatever. Yeah, be very, very, very careful with your cards. Oh boy. Okay, those are the weird ones. So, you know what? Let's talk about the good things. Because let me tell you, there were some good things about this cruise. First, and I gotta mention it first, because it really surprised me, despite everything I had heard and the relatively low expectations that I went in with, the food was much better than I expected, and a lot of it was actually good. Now, I mean, if you are considering an MSC cruise and you're watching this video, yeah, you probably have seen this, but I was talking to the waiter and they said that this ship, now they did convert the menu and they had a North American focused menu. I don't know if that meant, if he meant to say it was the first time they did this or something they're trying, but it was definitely a menu that is more aligned with the North American palate. And maybe they just brought some of their best chefs, you know, for her inaugural season over here. But I was not disappointed with the food. I would say that my dining room experiences was overall better than my general Royal Caribbean dining room experience. The buffet was actually pretty good. It was small. The cruise was way underbooked, so they only had like a section open all the time, so maybe they didn't really have the full spread. But yeah, what I got there was, well, it's hit or miss, but you know what, I was able to do pretty well. So if you're just expecting really bad food, just keep trying and you'll actually find some good things. As always, the crew was great. They always did their best to solve the problems created by headquarters, and every time they were successful. You know, I was able to get the drink package sorted. I was able to get the internet sorted. I was able to get something else sorted. I remember I had to go to guest services like twice or maybe 3 times The wait staff was wonderful, of course. They just kept bringing me things until I found something I liked. The staff in the buffet was amazing. Like that one time, I simply asked if they had bacon, and they ran back and they actually made bacon for me. So they did a terrific job, at making sure at least all of my experiences and interactions with them were like top notch. So yeah, kudos to the crew. They did a great job. Now, of course, the ship is lovely. It is brand new. It is gorgeous. Everything is very well designed. Everything kind of flowed together. There were no real major problems there. There were a lot of nice, relaxing spaces. Something I'm noticing doesn't really exist here on the world's largest cruise ship. I constantly have trouble finding a place to just sit in the quiet, without something going on, people running by. But yeah, that was pretty easy to find on Seashore. Now, part of it maybe had to do with the lack of guests, but I never wanted for a place to just sit and edit a video or watch a video or just catch up on email or something like that. All the spaces were very well decorated and appointed. So I did enjoy the ship very much, except the New York theme is kind of gross, but, well, they probably don't really understand what's going on. Anyway, the elevator controls. Finally, I'm happy to be on a ship, and I know other ships have this. The controls where you select your destination before you get on the elevator, and then it tells you where to go. I really like this. It's just better than you board and then choose the floor, which is what they have here. I'm a little bit surprised, actually. So for me, it worked very well, and I'm glad they did it that way, because I think it makes it a lot faster. One thing I liked was they still have the mindset of traditional cruising in a lot of ways. They don't have my time dining. It's only set times. There's no other food venues. There's the dining room and the buffet, which, I don't know, you could say is a bad thing, but great. Now he wants to talk. And finally, I love this. The debarkation luggage hours. It was crazy late. I think you had to have your luggage out by like 1 a.m. For it to be collected. Or some hour that was way later than every other cruise line I've seen. And you don't know how much I appreciated that, because half the time I miss it, and I'm always scrambling, but just to have all that extra time before really going to bed and then putting it out, it just worked out perfectly. And if they can do it, why can't the other cruise lines? I mean, they're just picking up luggage. I mean, how hard could that be? But, I mean, maybe the crew doesn't want to stay up late, I don't know. But anyway, so that was actually a great ending to the cruise, not having to scramble with my luggage. And it was there, no worries. It was exactly in the station where I expected it. So that was handled very, very well. So overall, my experience was really, really good. I can't say that it was terrible. I will definitely be cruising with MSC again later this year on Seascape. So yeah, and I'm looking forward to it. Hoping some things change. Hoping maybe some things don't change too much. And one thing that I know has changed is, well, actually, I don't know if MSC has dropped the mask requirement, because I remember it was, I always felt so bad because every day I would just forget to put a mask on, and I would just go all day just without remembering. And a couple of times someone mentioned it, but I guess I'm having memory problems, because like 2 seconds later I would forget to put it on again, and I honestly didn't realize I didn't wear a mask the whole time until I got back. So scatterbrain me, can you believe it? And there were a number of other guests who apparently also have memory issues, because they just forgot to put their mask on for the whole cruise too. So I don't know. Hopefully that won't be an issue. By the time Seascape arrives, it's not an issue here. So yeah, even Disney is changing. So maybe they already did. I didn't really follow. All right then. So well, you know what? I think that's about it for everything about my experience on MSC Seashore. So, despite all of the crazy operational problems I had in the beginning, all of them are fixable. I was able to get over all of them, even though they were really, really frustrating. I still spent a week on a luxury cruise ship with food that was better than expected, with a staff that was great, and just a nice overall relaxing experience. So yeah, I know it sounded like in the vlogs and here that I'm complaining about a lot of things, but when you put it into perspective, I am still very thankful for my problems.